Welcome to Rocky Valley, my 1 foot by 6.5 foot HO scale switching layout. This is one I just recently completed. I wanted to give a tour of the layout. I know that some members on Facebook groups and forums were interested in this, so I figured I'd give a tour of the layout. It's very basic, obviously, not very large at all, but I've had some requests, so I figured I would go ahead and do that. So working left to right, I will give the tour in segments here, so there's not a whole lot of panning, moving from side to side. So the layout starts off here, where the train is currently sitting. So this is the lead, or the fiddle track, if you want to call it that. And the train starts here, going through this small valley and making its way to the first turnout, adjacent to the general store. The general store is the only non-rail served structure on the layout. I chose a general store because it's general. It can receive quite a bit of freight and various products. This layout is modeled in the 60s, so general store was most appropriate for a small town kind of scene. So the train starts at the fiddle and approaches the first turnout adjacent to the general store, where the track splits, crossing Avenue A and entering into the 3-track yard. There are two rail-served industries on this layout. The first is the track to the far left, where the coal cars and the tank car are sitting. This is one industry that receives two different commodities, coal and oil. It's the Rocky Valley Fuel Company. You can see a small unloading conveyor there and the adjacent coal piles. And if we just pan a little bit to the left, you can see a bulldozer and some equipment next to the rail cars. On this end, we have the tank car unloading facility. This was made from various parts that I had lying around. I had a Walther's storage tank set, some various piping, and then the pump house is made from scrap materials and various miscellaneous items I had lying around. The second industry I have is a team track. Due to the small size of the layout, I felt that a team track was most appropriate, and it also ties into the general store, allowing for a variety of freight to come in and out of the layout. Just move these cars out of the way and give you a better view. And here you can see the scene taking place on the team track. I have the team leader pointing out to the crew what freight's going where. This truck here is being loaded up with freight to head to the general store. As you can see, we're at the far end of the layout, looking back down towards the lead or the fiddle track. This is the full extent of the layout, but it provides quite a bit of operation given the inglenook type setup that it has, with the addition of a runaround to provide operational interest. And here you can see we're back at the starting position of the layout. I wanted to just explain the operations a little bit from this point moving forward, now that you've seen the layout. So the train starts here and approaches the first turnout and goes into the inner track, where it'll set a maximum of 3 40-foot cars on the runaround. The train will then run around the cars and grab the caboose that's at the tail end of the train. And it will set this caboose in the middle track down at the far end. This sets up the operation so that the caboose is now on the tail end of the train heading back in the opposite direction. This will allow the caboose to be out of the way while you work Rocky Valley fuel and the team track. Once the cars have been arranged according to how they need to be, the locomotive will couple to the train and head back across Avenue A, through the valley and down the branch line. It's a very simple operation, but it can provide a lot of fun, given that this is an Inglenook track plan with the added runaround. You can operate the layout in two fashions, either prototypical operations or the typical Inglenook style puzzle game. Having these two options provides a lot of variety given the small space. It allows for a lot of fun. The last thing I'd like to mention about this layout is that it is very portable, easy to move around. The layout splits into two sections that are 3 foot 3 inches in length to total the 6.5 foot length. You can see the latch here in the center of the layout. There's one on each side that holds the modules together. Then if we pan down, you can see a bolt down there in the middle of the frame. Once that's undone, you can separate the two halves and allow for easy transport. The modules also come up off the benchwork, so the total number of pieces is 4, the two leg structures and then the two modules themselves. For added security when running trains, I've added in these pins. They're made of brass and they slide into brass tubes that have been soldered to the track. This allows a smooth operation for the trains to pass over the module joints. I found this technique online and I can't remember who it was that had come up with it, but credit goes to them, whoever they are. It's a great method. It can be a little tricky to solder these to the sides of the rails and keep them flush, but if you take your time, it's a great method to keep your tracks locked together. Okay, so that sums up the tour of Rocky Valley, my HO scale 1 foot by 6.5 foot switching layout. I hope you enjoyed the tour. If you have any comments or questions about the layout, be sure to leave them in the comments section. I'll definitely try to answer them as quickly as I can. I'd love any feedback or suggestions you have, things that I can use for my next layout. I have another project in the works. I'm not sure exactly when I'll start that. I'm kind of just generating some ideas right now. In the meantime, I'm going to try and do a few more videos on this layout, maybe some switching sessions, something like that. So if you're interested in that, let me know as well. Thanks for watching.